Welcome, everybody. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I had a little bit of a computer nightmare going on there, so I am here, and I will share my screen here shortly, but thank you for being on the webinar, and my apologies for being late. I'm normally exactly on time, so I can show you my screen here, and let's see, who do we have on the any JV partners? Bill, are you there? Can you hear me?
I am here. Hi, Fred.
Good. Now, does my screen look okay? Can you see it?
It looks awesome.
Good. Now, can you see just the browser, or can you see what's behind here? What do you see?
I can see what's behind it too. I can see the entire desktop.
Oh gosh, I got all kinds of crap on here. You normally use another system here, so let me take a look here. Okay. Well, anyway, I'll be going with that. So there's nothing incriminating, as I don't think I have left any.
I don't see anything.
Crazy. Okay. So by the way, thank you for being here, and I see Avish is on the call as well. Avish, welcome.
Hey, Fred.
Hey, I got here a little bit late myself, so first off, I think congratulations are in order for Mr. Bill DeWeese for his 100th video.
Yay!
Okay, so let me just, since I'm a little bit behind here, and again, my apologies, everybody. So Bill DeWeese, 100th video for Bill, and Bill, why don't you tell people exactly what that's all about?
Well, a little over a year ago, I started recording. Instead of doing like a lot of writing, which I still do some writing, but I started recording a lot of videos, doing video blogging. And before you knew it, it had kind of caught on. I was getting a lot of great response, and I just started, pouring out a lot of content. And before I knew it, well, as of yesterday, I recorded my 100th video, totaling about 9 hours of content.
Well, excellent. And so why don't you tell people exactly sort of what you've decided to do, because I think that's even more interesting than the fact that you got to your 100th video, which, by the way, comes to about almost 3 videos per day for the last year. Very consistent work by Bill DeWeese.
Yeah, well, I wanted to do something special to mark the 100th, video. So actually, my daughter and I were brainstorming, and we came up with the idea of promoting the fact that I would do a video/audio recording answering the 100 top voiceover questions to celebrate my 100th video. So on my 100th video, I solicited, people's most burning voiceover questions. From that, I'll create a product then that I can market, especially on the front end, to people who are, when people first sign up for my website, they have 100 questions. And so this would be a great resource and a great way, to have a low-priced product to get people involved in buying my stuff.
Sounds good. And so what you're going to do with this is you're soliciting their questions, right?
Right.
And what you're going to do is basically come up with the top 100 questions that people have in the voiceover field. And
yes.
And so explain to me exactly how, like you put it in the email, but explain to everyone else exactly what you're going to be doing.
So I'll organize these top 100 questions into a video format so that you can like reference and look up the questions and go right to the part of the video that you want to answer the question that you have. And I want to make this available to people when they first opt in to my website. We're thinking like a price point of maybe $49, something that's almost a no-brainer. 3-4 hours of content.
Yeah, and what'll happen is it's going to be indexed with everybody's major questions that they would have with regards to the business or the industry, right?
Yeah, exactly, by topic, and then they can just quickly go to the question that they most need answered at that moment.
Sounds like a good idea. Avish, any thoughts, comments, ideas?
No, I love it. I'm wondering, have you started getting questions? I was curious as what your kind of initial response was to that.
They started coming in immediately, and I haven't counted them, but they've been coming in. There's been a stream nonstop since I first put it up yesterday.
And so give us some ideas coming in from your list, right?
Yes.
Okay, so these questions, so basically you opened it up and you said, hey, any question you want to ask me about the voiceover business, now's the time, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, your most burning question or questions, let me know. I'll select the top 100, and then we'll take it from there.
Got it. So, and how long are you thinking now? You're going to be answering these, and some of the answers might be, are they all going to be in video form? In other words, are you going to answer all their questions on video? Is that it?
I am, but I also will do a companion audio, and maybe I should do a companion, text version as well, like a PDF.
Yeah, I would think that that might be helpful because so what's going to happen is when this is all said and done, for whatever the dollar amount is, whether it's 49 or 99, whatever the heck it is, they're going to have basically a Rolodex of 100 of the top questions that they can go to by category, click on one of them, and get a 6, 8, 10, 15 minute, whatever the length is, answer about that specific question, correct?
Correct. I'm thinking maybe shorter in terms of, I was thinking more like, 5 minutes per question, but, we'll see.
Yeah, so in other words, but each of those questions that they ask will be answered. And I would
Yes.
think that whatever you decide to do, some of those questions may necessitate video, some audio, some text, but it would be nice to have it so that they have the answer to each question in any form that they want.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right.
Because then what happens is, so if I click on question number 23, which is what is the best microphone to use when getting started, you would do a video in which you would show 2 or 3 microphones, the microphone you selected and the one you started with perhaps. And
Right.
by the way, I'm still waiting on that one to get to me. Were you sending me one?
Yeah, it's still sitting on my desk.
Okay,
My
just I
bad.
didn't know. So anyway,
Yeah.
so I would ask the question, what microphone do I start with? And you would answer me in a video showing me the microphone, but there would also be, if they wanted to just get the audio, or also just the text of that particular answer, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I like the idea. Avish, any other additional thoughts you have for Bill?
No, it all sounds great.
Sounds
I'll
good
let
to
you know
me.
how it goes.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. And I think that now, how many different categories do you think we will result from this?
Well, there are three major categories which we've talked about all along. One is performance, one is training, and then there's the business aspects, the marketing. Those are the three broad sweeping categories. I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions specifically related to studios, studio setup, demo, recording your demo, how to go about getting agents and more specific questions like that, but they'll probably all fall under those three major categories.
Gotcha. And yeah, I like the idea. And again, what we've done, obviously on my site with the free information marketing training is a similar kind of deal to that, where people can come and they look at all the various different, categories here, sort of, again, copied very liberally from Khan Academy. So if anybody has a question they have about information marketing, easy to go there and get the answers. Again, some of those I haven't completed, but most of them, especially in the basic course, are done. Good idea. And the other thing I wanted to ask you about, Bill, is you have got coming up the next seminar, which this one is on marketing, right?
Correct. It's on marketing, and I just received payment from the final attendee. The last seat was sold yesterday.
Nice. So it's now
And
full with, I'm restricted to what, 6 people, right?
there are actually seven besides myself. One of those, though, is one of the one-on-one $10,000 guy. So
Got
it's
it.
actually 6 sold seats aside from that.
Okay, and again, what happened was Bill, and again, just so that people are not confused by what we're doing here, we're going to go to voice dash over dash training. And so what happened was, is we did have, by the way, my last check of you on the rankings for the term voiceover
Yeah.
marketing, have you checked? It's
Number three, right? I saw that last night. I was pretty excited.
Yeah, so Bill is now number 3 in Google. He's number 3 for the keyword voice over marketing. And that is good. So let me just see what happens. Let's put it into Google and see what we get here. Just because I'm always suspicious of the ranking programs. Voice over marketing, I have here. Yep. 3rd or 4th. So 4 legs of a voiceover marketing plan, Bill DeWeese. So that's coming up 1, 2, 3, 4 for me here.
Now, does YouTube count as that YouTube video? Does that count as a spot? You know what I mean?
It would for
as the
me.
third spot?
I
Yeah.
think of it as a spot.
For all intents and purposes, it would be. Yeah.
Yeah, but now let me just show you why this. And Avish, let me ask the question and see if everybody else is, or if you guys are seeing it. of all of these listed that you can see on my screen right now, I think that yours is more compelling than the top three. Why?
Oh, for me, because the title just gives me an idea that if I go there, I'll learn how to put together a marketing plan, whereas the others are either general or make it seem like if I'm going to go somewhere, it's going to try to sell me something.
100% agree. So in other words, when I see 4 legs of a voiceover marketing plan, now this other one down below there that says 80 plus online marketing resources, that 80 plus, although it's numerical, it's less appealing to me because I'm thinking 80, you know, that's a lot, but 4 legs of a voiceover marketing plan, I at least would be more apt to click on that. Probably if I saw all of those at one time, I'd probably be most apt to click on yours, Bill, because it's you know, it's got that specific numerical element to it.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, at least I would. I don't know how everybody else feels, but I mean that would be the one I would probably click on. So that's great. And Bill, why don't we also tell people and announce what you and I are going to be doing for speakers, which is
Yes, we're creating a course called Speaker to Voiceover Talent.
Yep.
And it's going to be a 90-minute session course helping professional speakers, public speakers, become voiceover talent.
And so what's going to be in that?
Let's see. It's all in the notes that I sent you earlier. Let me see if I can remember. We're talking about everything from certainly the marketing end, which is truly my expertise, is my niche, and we'll be pushing heavily the audiobooks. We'll also be talking about specific performance techniques, the difference between speaking publicly and recording voiceover, and there's a significant difference in the delivery, how to interpret different scripts, how to find representation, should you want representation by a talent agency, and then how to go about marketing your business. That, and I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff, but those are some of the big categories.
Yeah, and our thinking here was that there are numerous professional speakers, excuse me, who want to get into the voiceover business because they feel, hey, I'm already using my voice for speaking. I might as well be capitalizing on using it for something else. And Avish, I think I've asked you this before, but among the speakers that you know, and you know quite a few of them, would you not agree that this would be a topic that they would probably be very interested in hearing about?
Yeah, I think it's a topic that they would be interested in hearing about. They might not be actively seeking right now, but I think when you propose it to them, I think they would say, wow, that's something I want to learn more about because it seems like a natural fit.
Yeah, I mean, I would think so too. And again, I've always heard, you know, I think that a lot of times where I've been, you know, sort of hanging around with speaker type friends of mine, that when the issue of voice and voiceovers comes up, it's almost like, oh yeah, I could do that. And and I think that they don't realize, you know, what there is to this. And I think that this is a chance to give them some real insights on how to make money, how to get into that business, how to make money doing it, Bill. So what's our plan for a possible time frame on this?
Well, I mean, that's the next step. We need to set up a time frame. But
certainly within the next 60 to 90 days, I think.
Yeah, well, and actually, I know I've written out a rough sketch of how I want events to plan out over the next 12 months, and it's sitting on my desk, and I don't have the dates in front of me, but it's something that we're getting ready to put up on a big calendar.
Nice. And when you put that up on a big calendar, make sure and share it with me so I can see it.
I will. Mallory and I went to Staples the other day and got a big 1-year, you know, write-on with a marker board to put up on the wall.
Got it. Always good to have those. Even more impressive when you actually use them.
Well, there you go.
No, having been in there, I'm speaking from experience. So, well, that's great. Good to hear. And Avish.
Oh, and by the way, can I just quickly mention, I also sold the first seat to the next audiobook seminar. Sold that yesterday, and I really haven't even started promoting it yet.
You're on fire, buddy. And that's that would be.
That's coming up late May. It's like 7 weeks.
Audiobook seminar, right?
Yes.
So audiobookSeminar.com, which redirects to audiobookSeminar.org. And so here's, and without even trying, the next one here is, May the 19th and the 20th, correct?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I got to get cracking on that.
Nice. Well, it's good to hear. And so there is now again. This one is how much is this one? This is
12.95.
12.95. And
It's a
again,
2 day. Yeah.
yep. And you've got plenty of video testimonials. Something now. Do we have more testimonials than just this one guy?
Yeah, yeah. I've got like yeah, 6 or 7, and trying to think. Did I use those on the audiobook success? Well, no. Anyhow, I've got them. Yeah, we need to get. I need to get those up.
Yeah, I would because again, I think that just like with the Fred, info boot camp. I mean, I'm convinced that, and this thing's got an auto start, so I apologize in advance here. So,
I actually thought I did have the videos up there, but I guess I didn't. I need to do that.
yeah, I think that these are great because I mean, the more videos you have, I mean, in my case, I put just a ton of videos from people who have attended the boot camp and all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah.
And Stanley's got a.
Oh, you know what I did, Fred? I put them up on YouTube, and I just haven't. That's what they're up. I knew I did something with them. They're on YouTube. They're just not on the site yet.
Good. Now, the other thing that I've done here that you may want to do as well is a lot of times I will record various portions of the boot camp in little pieces of it, and so I never give people the entire the entire boot camp. Obviously, I don't record the whole thing, but it's like here I've got sections within my site here where you can click on, like I've got Mr. Stupid.
Okay, so let's start with when the
blah blah blah. So it's a section on my Mr. Stupid concept and a whole bunch of other things. So people when they go to this, especially if it's a more expensive item, like your audiobook seminar here is $1,200, although in your industry that's not particularly expensive, but it would be nice for me to see. I would like to see a bunch more testimonials.
Yeah, okay, and I'll work on getting some a clip or two up of the actual event as well. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think a clip or two of the actual event and more testimonials because just more is better. I can see you having now you've got at least 6 or 8 testimonials. You said, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I would put them all up there. I would have them just
Okay.
interspersed throughout the copy here. So before they get to here and someplace, and just mix them in or put a couple in one place and a couple somewhere else. I mean, there's just plenty of stuff that you have that can promote this well. So I think that this is great. I might put, by the way, have Stanley do this. This looks a little bit, and if I think Stanley's on the webinar. I'd like to see a space between, there's not. I'd like to have this broken up a little bit here. There should be a space after the parentheses here. There should be a space after the 20th to break that up, and there should be a little bit of air after this you learn section too. So it just stylistically, it could be improved a bit, I think.
Okay.
Avish, what about you? Good job. Hey, Bill. Now the other thing is, I would like to have both yours and Avish's help. We're getting pretty close to, and let me put up my own. Let me see, ebook seminar. So I'm getting closer and closer to getting this done now. We've now moved this to 7 people. I interviewed a new gal, Peggy Richardson. So we now have 2 women and 1 Mr. X, which any seminar you do, always good to have 2 women and a Mr. X, just as a general rule. But the whole idea here is this is now coming together very nicely. And I'd like both yours, Bill, and your Avish's help in promoting this, obviously as affiliates. And anyone who's on the webinar who wants to promote this event can also promote it as an affiliate. This is going to be a really, really good event. I've actually, and I should confess that although it appears to many people, and Avish, how do you think people feel about, they get to listen to these calls live at a certain time, but they also, and again, Stanley has this copy has got to be changed. This lorem ipsum text here should be replaced by Bob here. This has just got to go. So Stanley, if you're watching, this has got to, this obviously is not in, and this is what replaced it here. So that's got to get changed. But I've got a lot of a lot of people with a lot of expertise, and it's good for you guys to give me, I want everyone to promote this, because there's tremendous amount of information. But Evvish, I got sidetracked there. How do people respond when you tell them, like we do down here, that these are, they can listen in live on a certain time? And again, these dates are all just bogus for right now. But if you tell people you're going to listen in live, what if these are recorded calls? Has that ever created a problem for you?
No, I've never had anyone complain. One thing I did is when they sign up, in that autoresponder that confirms their sign up, I tell them that a lot or most of these calls will be pre-recorded, so if they have questions, they get them in advance. So I didn't have a single person complain or have a problem with that fact.
Okay, good. And I also had one person who I had interviewed her before, and I was going to include her again to make this an 8-part teleseminar series, but I didn't, and instead she said, well, you can't, I don't have time for the interview, so we're including her information, which was about an hour-long conversation with her, as a bonus. So there are going to be a ton of bonuses. And again, the pricing on this is ridiculous. As the amount of content. And just to let you guys know, I actually turned Bob Bly onto some of this new stuff, and he's really excited about it. And one of the things that Bob did is Bob decided he wanted, for his particular list, to record an interview with me about what we're going to cover on the teleseminar, to use as a sort of a freebie to give away to his list to get them excited about this. But for $97, people are getting information that's worth literally hundreds of dollars. So we're basically setting this up to make it super affordable and accessible. The free option is obviously free, and the paid option is $97. We haven't yet determined the exact dates yet, but this is getting set up, and I'd like both of you guys to help promote this, because this is worth promoting to just about anyone, voiceover people included, Bill. I really think that this is something that anyone can make use of, and you've heard me talking about how to do all this stuff with the Kindle ebook. I also have another report for you, and this is not a favorable report. So it has to do with, and Avish, have you used Content Development Pros for anything?
No, you told me about them, but I haven't tried.
I was really disappointed. They're a group that, and I mean, I think they for the right people. I think, is it Content Development Pros? Is that it?
Sounds.
Let me just check.
Sounds like the one you said before.
Let me just check here and see if that's right. Content, Development Pros. These guys do writing really inexpensively for various things: articles, ebooks, web copy, etc., etc. First off, I paid them about $85 or whatever to write a 3,000-word article. The first one that I got, first off, they said it was going to be ready in 3 days. It's now 3 weeks after I paid them. Finally, I got an article that I'm happy with. The first article they sent me was written by somebody who was clearly not English as their primary language. I mean, it was. If I showed you this stuff, I'm embarrassed for them, frankly. I mean, it's just too bad, but I just don't think. I think that what they're trying to do is deliver these services inexpensively, and that's great. But the problem is they're using people who their writing skills are, subpar to say the least. I mean, if all you want to do is to create some writing that sounds marginally decent and has some key words in it, fine. Avish, you didn't employ them, did you?
I did not, no.
Well, I'll tell you what, the person that I used on Fiverr to do some writing was 10 times better than the first person they gave me. Now, when I complained about it, to their credit, what they did was they handed it over to someone else who clearly was a native English speaker. The result was okay. It wasn't great. It was okay. But clearly the person that they gave it to the second time was a native English speaker, so it was a little bit better. So this particular place does not have my endorsement, although I've mentioned them before. I'm not real excited about what I saw. Maybe your results will be different. I hope they are. I would hope they learn from some of the experiences they had with me, but I cannot at this point give them a positive recommendation because of what happened to me. It's just not, it just wasn't what it could have been. I believe they may have some good writers in there. What they gave me just wasn't up to snuff. And so Stanley already updated my the ebook seminar since he's on here. So let's just see. He says that has been changed, and so now when you go to it and you see the Bob Bly stuff, it now has it up there. Yeah, good, perfect. And so what I'm doing is I'm finishing up all the copy on this particular site, and both of you guys, Avish, Bill, I'd love your help in looking over it to make sure I haven't really screwed up on some copy. So if you could, if I've made some mistake or left something out or made some bad grammatical error that sounds like I'm not from this country writing English, please let me know.
You're not from this country, right?
Yeah, I'm not.
That's true.
That's very true. So anyway, by the way, just when as a complete side note, having nothing to do with business, I took Kayla over to an ice skating rink today and was hanging out with, not quite, hanging out with Ted Danson and Elizabeth Shue. They were shooting an episode of CSI. And
Really?
Yeah, and the funniest thing that happened was I'm sitting around there hanging out with some of the extras, and this guy, he needs some people for a scene, so he comes over and he says, "Hey, come on, you're in." And I'm looking at him going, "Oh, okay." So for a second I thought, you know what, I'm going to just act like I'm an extra and go in on the shoot, but I would have really screwed him up. Because who knows, there might have been some kind of legality stuff where, they would have had to reshoot the scene, so I didn't want to, I didn't want to get myself in trouble, but I could have easily been an extra on CSI earlier today.
That's cool.
Which lets you know how important they consider the extras are, by the way. That they would have let some stranger off the street at an ice skating rink basically, come on board. So it was, that was interesting. So anyway, the other thing, and this is what I want some feedback on, it also relates to Kayla. Kayla is very serious about learning how to do banners. So I don't know what you guys think of this, but she is, she's a good artist. And I said to her, I'll tell you what, if you're willing to learn how to do banners, sort of the standard banner that everybody uses, I will, help promote you. And I thought to myself, if you look at any banner on any site, like the banner you have, Bill, or whatever. So if we go to audiobook seminar, this banner, like up here, is what she could do. So now, if she were to come up with and learn how to do these, for someone who is 13 and a half years old, what do you think I should start her at to get her some experience in terms of dollars? What do you think people, if I said, hey, she's learning how to do this, she's going to be cheap right now, she'll be much more expensive later, what do you think my starting number should be for her?
I have no idea what a banner actually even costs.
Generally, you can get banners as cheap as probably, you can get a banner for $20, from $20 to $100, I would say.
Oh, really?
Or $20 to $150 would be my guess.
Well, I'm a little biased because I did get a banner made on Fiverr, which came out pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And somebody's suggestion to put her on Fiverr, not going to do that, only because I'm not going to price her at Fiverr levels.
Yeah.
But I think
my immediate thought was 25 to 50.
Yeah. Now, Avish, which banner did you get done at $5 on Fiverr? Do we have that available?
Yeah, I was helping a buddy with his website. It's CraigSaysWhat.com.
Craig says what?
Mm-hmm. What?
.com. So Craig says what.com, and this is a Fiverr banner that was $5.
Yeah. So
The random musings of a pop culture fanatic, is that it?
Yep.
Cool. So Craig says what.com, and so they took his picture, they put some copy in there, and that was $5.
Yeah, and they had the background, whatever,
And
they probably got these templates, so.
And
yeah. Beyond that, I was going to say, if you want to start price below, I'd say probably 20.
Yeah, I think so too. When I look at Bill DeWeese's site here, and that's the audiobook. So audiobook seminar here. This banner is, it's nothing fancy, but it communicates exactly what you're trying to do.
Right.
And I think it looks decent. I mean, I don't think it's like the greatest thing in the world, but it's certainly good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So cool. So that's something that she's going to be doing, and I thought, she's a pretty talented artist, but I know that when I'm doing a site, it's just like with the ebook seminar site. If we go back to that here, this could probably use a banner as well, couldn't it? Or
Yeah.
or not.
I think
Yeah.
so. I kind of wanted to create some banners for to tell someone like I did too, because they're without banners right now as well.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that again, the thing about the banners is I don't like the idea of having real fat, like the Craig Says What banner of each. To me, that was a little bit too fat, because when you have a fat banner, it takes up a lot of the information above the fold, and you want the information above the fold. So when we look back at his, the Craig Says What, I don't know where it is. But I mean, anyway, so his particular one, that banner was a little bit thick, so it took a little bit more to get behind, up to the information past the fold. So anyway, this is something that, and again, everybody who's on board here, looks to stand a little bit too much space between this bullet point. It's not bad, but it's a little bit too much space right there. But I think that this is, it almost seems, what do you guys think of when I have 7 people doing this and the paid version is only $97? That seems to me like it's either like ridiculously low priced or a heck of a deal. Does 97 sound too low?
I think it sounds like a heck of a deal.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too low. Like it sounds like a heck of a deal, but I don't think it sounds too low.
So it's still not going to turn people off thinking this is going to be crap.
No.
Yeah, because this is, I finished doing all the interviews yesterday, and this program is worth a lot more than that. So I'm excited to get promoting this, because I think, and Bob is going to get behind it, and there's a bunch of people, and Bill as well. So we should have a lot of people getting on board for this and signing up for it, because I think it's tremendous information. So now if I can just get my button gear and write the rest of this copy, I'll be good. Now, another question for you guys, and this is worthwhile talking to for the whole group as well. When you look down, if again $97 being your price point, how long does the description have to be of each of the speakers and what they're going to be talking about to make it work? I mean, I just don't really know if I need more than, say, like if you look at Joshua's here, I took and I created his bio. So there's the bio, and then in this you'll learn. Would that be enough, you think, just to have that much copy and that many bullet points? Is that sufficient?
I think it's plenty. I mean, $97 shouldn't be a hard sell.
Yeah, I'm not thinking it will be either. It's just I'm sort of, there's just so much good stuff that's in each of these interviews that I did that I felt that I needed to do it. Now, in Jill's copy here, it's not just books. You can also make money publishing short articles, how to write short articles, blah, 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 and make you sound great and people read. Again, this doesn't have to be that long either. So I'm happy with. I don't really think I should obsess about having to have X amount of material. Now, when I get to Mr. X, speaking of X amount of material, I don't really want to give people a lot of information about him. So, how to use ebooks to generate leads for your business. By the way, business spelled incorrectly, Stanley. Should do a spell check on all this before we let it out too. So I put here about Mr. X. Mr. X prefers to give you his information anonymously. He's successfully navigated the ebook market and uses it for lead generation. He's the sole owner of a niche market site which has accumulated close to 400,000 opt-in names. In his session, you'll learn tips and techniques for how to use ebooks to generate a flood of qualified leads coming your way. I don't know if I really want to put, or should I, out of 7 people, if I have one that's sort of a short description. Any problems, guys?
Not for me.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so I shouldn't really get too worried about the length of the copy in each of these, right?
No, I think just even one paragraph and 3 compelling bullets would be enough. You have more than that for I think everyone except for Mr. X.
Okay, good. So then I'll try and finish this up, because I was thinking that I had to do a whole bunch here. So okay, good. Then there you have it. That's for that. Now, Avish, what are we doing? What's the latest on Speaking Expert?
Well, I've gone back into the writing thing, so I put up another Kindle book. So that's in the Kindle store, Kindle article, I guess, more correctly.
Okay, why don't we show people what that is after we get here on the site? So let's go to Amazon, and the name of this article is.
Probably at this point, it'll probably be easier to type my name in there, and it'll. Scroll down. That one, effective presentation goes one-on-one. So I kind of took a tip from you, which was as part of a series, I gave him a different color but similar layout cover to the other one.
So this is effective presentation skills, the 7 fundamentals every speaker must master. Okay, and so now going back here though to the previous, this one has. Wow, this has 14 comments, right?
Yep.
Good deal. You know what we got to do? We got to throw in a 4-star review and probably a 2-star review.
Yeah, I was thinking it's starting to get too many. Someone I kind of know asked me if those reviews are real. I'm like, yeah, those are real.
Yeah, that's the problem. When you get that many reviews and they're all 5 stars, even if they are real, it looks like a setup. So that's what we got to have.
I'll be glad to give you a 1-star.
Thanks, Bill.
I'm there for you, Veach.
So, and by the way, I would not to go up to $2.99 on this one. I would wait till you had 3 or 4 or 5 reviews first.
Okay.
Just because that's sort of in my system to do. But this is good now. So, complete selection of the Vish Perisher book. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that link was up.
Yeah, well, I think Amazon just throws that up for anyone. Let's see if we do me here, what happens. Okay, let's see what happens here. So the Kindle Money Management. See, I show up here complete selection as well.
Oh yeah.
You know what's interesting though, Avish? This is my marketing or coaching services, which maybe I'm disproving my own theory here. This marketing or coaching services, which sold last month something like, I think close to 100 copies, only has 2 stars. You know, and so, I mean, it's only not 2 stars, only has 2 reviews. So my obsession with having to get a lot of reviews, I think, it could be misguided. And if Stanley, if you're still on here, this is one of the things we have to do. This does not look good for selling information. It should only be the front cover, just like Speaking for Millions here. We should probably change that. Same with Consulting Secrets. We need to cut that off and just use the front cover, not the front and the back cover. The most recent one that I have, guys, I just put up is, and this is one that I had written. I did not write it myself. It is Getting Stuff Done. Getting Beyond Procrastination. So that is a 3,000-word article. I haven't really even gone into the yet. So what I put here is this 3,000-word article will give you more than most books. Will give you 50,000 plus words. Blah, blah, blah. So again, this is where I'd want to get all my reviews first. And so you guys can go on and like it and do all that other kind of stuff with it. That'd be great. Avish, I think Avish, try this right now. Go into the Kindle store and pull up this book, and let's see if we can make this happen. And click like on it, and let me hit a refresh and see if it'll show up. So let me know when you're there.
Wait, do you want me to go to Amazon? Or you want me to go into the?
No, go to Amazon.
Okay, not my Kindle.
Yeah, go to Amazon and go into, just put in Getting Stuff Done or my name. Let's find this particular item and like it, and let's see if it changes in real time. I'm just curious to see if it'll do that. So I'm clicking on it now. I'm sure it hasn't happened yet. And Bill, why don't you do the same?
Okay.
So what we're trying to do is see if this is going to show up in real time. And I'm just illustrating the fact that the likes, there are a few things here that really affect your numbers when you do the Kindle stuff, which is number one, the likes are important, but also the keywords and agreeing with the various keywords that are in here. And so I don't think I've even put any tags in here. So I would put time management. I would put procrastination. Add that. I would put, I don't know, what else would a book called on this topic? Those are two of the main ones. So I'm going to hit. Did you guys like it? Yeah, let's see what happens.
I just did.
You just did. There it
Just
is.
logged
There we
in.
got 2 likes. See? So now what happens is people's decision on whether or not to buy something will be affected by the likes and the reviews and the copy. So there's a number of elements here, but I'm telling you, this is again, this is something that everybody should be working on. So the Kindle book stuff. So Avish, what's been your challenge with the Kindle books? Just getting them written. Everything else good?
Well, I mean, it was twofold. Getting written was a little bit of a challenge. I think that's because I had so many other things on my plate. So now things have calmed down. So I'm back to writing. Got my next one outlined. And then it's just, getting traffic there and getting sales. So, I mean, this new one, I did announce it in last week's, because it was live by Thursday last week. So it's sold 4 or 5 so far. Since being live, but I think it's just gonna be a volume thing. So I'd like them obviously to sell more, but other than promoting them in a few places, not a lot you can do other than just kind of keep cranking out more content, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going. Oh, by the way, Amazon, Stanley knows this. They started to bust me on the fact that I was giving away my ebooks for free on my site. So you've got to be careful because Amazon doesn't like it when they don't have exclusivity. So we're having to do a few changes. I just wanted to show everybody. This is, and again, I want to show the month-to-date sales. For this month will be low, but for last month, let's go to here. Let me show you this. That one on coaching, we sold 89 copies of that. And Avish, look at this. How to be a great step parent, 20 copies.
Wow.
So
that's pretty
yeah,
cool.
and I mean, when you look down this list, it's kind of interesting as to what's selling. So the consulting book sold 10, blogging for maximum profit 5, not very much. But what I mean, I'm just always amazed. So the coaching one, I'm creating some other spin-offs of this. Sell Your Brain Power sold 17. And by the way, I just started getting, I think I noticed it last couple days, Amazon just started automatically putting, direct deposits into my account. And I feel like it's finally turning into something where I'm getting some real money. So now, all of a sudden, I think it's 27th or 28th of the month, Amazon is going to be dropping money into my account, which is great. So it's just like free money I'm not even thinking about. Because after you do the articles, some of these are books, by the way, some of these are articles. But, I got all excited about how to create a killer video. Yeah, I got real excited. Evidently, I was the only one, 2 people. And you look at this, like marketing to find your ideal client. I thought that was a great article. 1 person bought it. Online marketing secrets to double your sales. 1 person bought it. Publishing for maximum profit. 2 people bought it. I mean, it's like, to self-publish or not to self-publish. A great article, by the way. 1 person. Thank you very much. So what I'm saying is that you never know, and this is actually one of the gals that was on the call that we're going to do on the teleseminar, Peggy, the last one I just did, she talked about the need for keyword research and how I sort of did a little keyword research with step parenting, because here's what I did. And I just find this pretty fascinating, the whole process. So I went into the Kindle store, and I put in, I think I put in step parenting. And if we put in step parenting, I think mine, I don't know if mine shows up here. Maybe I put step dash parent. Or maybe this is, let me see. I wonder if that's affecting me here, because sometimes when you put, yeah, you see by putting the dash in there, it really affects it. So when you're coming up with your, how to title your works, you got to be careful on that. So this one is how to be a great step parent. It's got 4, and again, here's another example. Let's see if there are any likes. Ooh, plenty of likes on that one. Look at that. 12 people have liked that one. Which seems to tell me, guys, by the way, and everybody watching and listening on the webinar, the likes and the reviews have an effect on sales. So I think that people really are affected by the liking issue here. And by the way, in the description, I tell people, my name is Fred Gleeck. I'm mainly a business author, but I've got a background in psychology. I've been step parenting myself for over 6 years. I'm very honest with people that I'm not like the definitive expert in the world on this topic, and I think that kind of helps. So anyway, people gave it some good reviews. There is some good material. But I really do think the likes and the reviews are crucial. So Avish, take note. Anything else? Now, let's see here. Anybody have any questions from those of you who are on the call? Any questions you want to ask on anything we've covered so far? Now it's your time for the next 5 or 10 minutes. And Avish and Bill, please stay on in case you are the recipient of the question from the group. So let's see if anybody else has any questions. We've had Doc, who gave us my comment on Fiverr for Kayla and Stanley. Any questions from anyone regarding anything we've covered thus far? Here's your chance. Please feel free to shoot us a question. Put it in the question within the GoToWebinar panel there. It allows you to send us a question. So I'll give you a little time to do that and see if anybody has any questions. I know everything everyone said was brilliant and completely free of any confusion, but just on the outside chance that something was confusing. Now, I don't think I see anybody. I think, oh, there's one. Scott, is that Scott Straub? My goodness. Could be him. Okay. What do you think the shortest length of an ebook should be? Scott, I think that it has to do with the fact that if you are honest in your presentation of the material, for example, looking at this great step parenting book, notice that I put here, I don't know if you can read that, 2,500 or 4,500 word article. So the key here is there is no minimum length, but you should be direct and honest with people about how much they're getting, because most people, when they go to the Kindle store, particularly if they're not real savvy, expect something to be full book length, and it's, many cases they're just articles, so it's not. So as long as you give the length of something, Scott, I would say your minimum should be probably 3,000 words for an article. Maybe 2,500 on the low end. But as long as you put this information in there, telling people right up front how long something is, I don't think you'll ever have a hard time. Yeah, I mean, Doc is saying that the keyword research is classic horse before the cart scenario. The thing about it is that, yes, you have to do your keyword research, and I think that's obviously crucial and important. But, I mean, you also have to then take your keyword research and combine it with what is your knowledge base, what are you interested in, what do you know about, rather than just doing it. And I used the term, I was talking with Peggy Richardson on our call yesterday for the teleseminar series, and I said you can use a mercenary approach to creating this material, which is basically you're going to do it just to make money and you don't really care anything about the topic. I think that's hard to do, but if you combine both keyword research with your enthusiasm for a topic, it'll make it a lot easier. Any other questions here? Okay, so this is, Michael says, this is my first time on your webinar, and it seems like a group discussion about projects of each partner. If so, how do I get to be part of the discussion for my own projects? Well, you become a JV partner, and that's a very long and involved process. So he's asking, what happens? Well, if you're like Bill DeWeese, you end up paying money, coming to a Fred Info boot camp. At the Fred Info boot camp, we sit around and do quibids and lose money. And what happens is we spend a week together, and after you've spent money and spent time with me, you and I both decide whether or not we have something worthwhile to work on together. If we decide to do that, you sign a contract which basically gives your firstborn child to me and any future earnings 100% to me, and then you become a JV partner. It's pretty much that simple, right, Bill?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
To not make light of it, though, what happens is you first have to go through the process, and after you go through that process, you become a JV partner. After you're a JV partner, yes, then you are qualified to get your projects discussed on here. And so you who are watching, this is primarily just set up to allow others to do their thing. Now, Scott says, do you ever test different ebook images and see how they affect sales? Good question, Scott. Probably would be a good thing to do. I have not tested images. All I've tested is prices. I've varied prices from 99 cents to $2.99 to $4.99. I haven't gone higher than $4.99 because, frankly, I'm a big chicken. So I'm a little bit nervous to do that. What I did do, though, Scott, you'll get a kick out. I don't know if you heard this on one of the other webinars, but I raised the price of my best-selling, the one on coaching. I said to myself, you know what? If this thing is selling at $2.99, it'll probably sell well at $4.99. So I said to myself, okay, I'm going to put this out there for a week at $4.99 and just see what happens. After a day and a half of only seeing a sale or two, I got cold feet, and I moved the price back down to $2.99. So if you have a strong stomach and you're willing to test pricing, what I would suggest you do is, if you have a standard price of you're using, say, for $2.99, then go ahead and up it to $4.99. Do that for a few days or a week and see what it does to sales. Now, the one thing I have seen, though, Scott, is that oftentimes by increasing the price from 99 cents to $2.99, sales actually increased. Because I think people are skeptical of something that is too cheap or appears to be too cheap. So all of those are good questions. And thank you all again for being on the webinar. We do these every Wednesday. Tell your friends, tell your relatives. Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific.